This is Caitlin, your host of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night. Welcome back to another episode on the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and another month has ended. And so this is the wrap up episode for September. I can't believe we have 3 months left of the year. You are listening to this on October 1st, of course. This is just crazy for me to have just said that sentence. There's 3 months left. For me, as we all know, as the year's gone by, 2025 has been a hit or miss for me when it comes to dramas and has not been overall a good drama year for me. But also just like in life in general has not been a good year for me. It hasn't been terrible, but just not great at the same time. But as we have gone through the year and gotten closer to the end of the year, at least in drama world, my drama world has picked up a little bit, at least in what I'm completing and what I'm liking and everything. It's not great compared to other years, but it's definitely picked up. September is no exception. It was all over the place when it came to dramas and what I completed and what I watched, but I did complete a fair number of dramas, movies, anime in September. I also started some new dramas in September. I still have a few pesky dramas and TV shows that I need to get off my watch list that I've been watching forever, for like months at this point, but I actually even made progress in that department in September. October is also going to be an interesting month for me because it's a busier month. Definitely busier in terms of drama watching for me, as well as podcast recordings, than it was in September. Be interested to see what I actually complete in October, what I start in October. I think the rest of the year is gonna be interesting to see what I actually pick up and watch, um, because this is gonna be a tangent, but as we all know, in 2025, I have not been watching a lot of on-air K-dramas, which I normally do. I normally watch a fair number of on-air K-dramas, and then I kinda just watch dramas around the on-air K-dramas to fill out my watch list. That has not been the case this year. I have many 2025 K-dramas I never looked at, even though I wanted to watch them. I have many other dramas that aired in 2025, like C-dramas, J-dramas, Thai dramas, Taiwanese dramas that, were definitely on my plan to watch list, but I have yet to click play on. So it's been an interesting year, to say the least. For the next 3 months of 2025, I like to say I have a strategy of what I'm gonna watch by the end of the year, but I really don't, because November is a very busy month for me always. If you look back on all of the Novembers in the last 4 or 5 years, I have literally completed almost no dramas, maybe 1 drama in November, because it's always so busy for me. December, it sort of dies down a little bit, especially near the end, but I still do not complete a bunch of dramas in December. So I'm anticipating that being the same. I tend to, especially December, I tend to not start new dramas in December. I tend to try and get stuff off my watch list. And I might start that in November now instead of just waiting until December to do that. I might start in November to not start anything new and just get stuff off my watch list and then have 2 months of that. Because I like starting the new year with a clean slate, or as much of a clean slate as possible. Because if I'm watching airing dramas that go into January, obviously those won't be off my current watch list once the year starts. But I like the idea of a clean slate at the beginning of the year, which happened this year. I made it my mission to have a clean slate at the beginning of 2025, which overall was successful. So I really want to do that. I also am going to be taking a break for the first time from the podcast in November. So in November, just FYI, I will be announcing this multiple times, but in November, just FYI, there is not going to be any podcast episodes. I'm taking my first break just because, A, as I just said, I'm not going to be completing a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to be watching a lot of stuff because November is very busy for me. That's the perfect month to take a break because 'cause I'm always scrambling to edit something or do something in November because 'cause I'm extremely busy in November. November is gonna be the first break for the podcast, just FYI. There will be no podcast episodes, and then we'll be back in December when it's died down a bit. And then same with YouTube videos. I might be doing a couple in November, so you can check the YouTube channel out if you'd like, but I'm not making any promises. Like, if it gets too busy, I'm probably not even gonna do YouTube for the month. And then moving forward, just FYI, I'm gonna be doing 2 breaks a year. We're hitting our 100th episode of the podcast in December, ironically December 24th, which is crazy that I'm already on 100 episodes of the podcast. But moving forward, I'm gonna be planning on doing 2 breaks. I'm gonna be doing a May break, which is my birthday month, and it's always busy between my birthday, Mother's Day, my sister's birthday, and then my mom's birthday all in the same month. And then now my niece's birthday, and then I have, like, cousin's birthday. Like, May is a big birthday month, and then we have Mother's Day, so I'm always busy in May. And then November is also going to be the month that I'll be taking the break for the podcast. So you can always anticipate November and May to be breaks from podcast episodes. I'll still be around on social media, and I, of course, will still be watching stuff, but moving forward, November and May will be breaks. And because I really don't do seasons, I don't really do seasons for the show. I should, but I just haven't really figured out how I'm gonna do that, especially if I'm taking 2 breaks now. I started the podcast in the end of January, so we're gonna be hitting 2 years in January 31st of 2026. So I haven't really done seasons, I've just released episodes. But maybe I should start now that I'm starting breaks. I don't know. I don't know because even with the 2-year mark, what would a season be? Would that just be, like, all 1 season, the last 2 years, and start seasons after the break? I'm not sure. I have to figure that out. But yeah, FYI, that's the plan for the end of the year, for the breaks, for the podcast, whatever. I'm still gonna be doing episodes, still having guests. I love doing it. Really big tangent. That is not the whole point of wrapping up September, but here we are. So this is the September wrap-up episode. If you have never listened to an episode, this is where I talk about everything I completed in the last month, and then I talk about what dramas I'm looking forward to in the upcoming month. As I said, September was kind of all over the place with dramas I completed and what I clicked play on and what I enjoyed and everything. So you have a lot of variety from countries to types of dramas to genres to even anime movies and everything. Let's get into what I completed in September. I think my favorite thing that I completed by far in September is the Japanese drama Our Dining Table. I started this in, I think, September, and then I kind of just binged it and finished it because even when I started it, I binged like 3 episodes right away because it's very short. It's 25-minute long episodes, not even, maybe like 22-minute episodes. It's all on one playlist on YouTube. You can watch this in one sitting if you really want to. I did a little description of my watch list episode of what this is, but if you want a quick recap, it's about a regular worker in Japan, Yutaka, who meets a pair of brothers, older brother around his age, and then a younger brother who's in elementary school. And he starts going over to their house and joining them for meals at their dining table. And he cooks for them or they cook for him. And then it's about them getting to know them better. It's also a BL. The 2 older boys, not boys, they're not boys, they're adults. They're like in their 20s, I would say. The businessman, Yutaka, and then the older brother who is taking a break from college. They start a relationship. You have some light angst, light trauma that they deal with. I love this drama. It's not even probably, it's definitely one of my new comfort watches. I clicked play on it due to I wanted a food drama, and you do get that, but I stayed for the relationship, especially the main leads. The 2 leads are adorable together. They're opposites, but not at the same time. They're awkward at the beginning. They do have miscommunications, but it doesn't last very long, and they're cute when they actually do communicate. Yutaka is your typical Japanese character where he is very awkward, very shy, introverted. And then you have the other man, and I think his name is Minoru. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. He is taking a break from college. He's working in a restaurant, and he is the complete opposite of Yutaka. He is loud, he is brash, he is still shy in terms of saying what he feels, but he definitely is a little more exaggerated and kind of just says things and then maybe feels embarrassed afterwards. And I just love their dynamic because they bring out different things that each individual needs in his life or needs to hear in his life, and I loved it. It was just a comfort watch for sure. The little kid is adorable, he's so cute, and as I said, I like that the fact that they had little to no angst. There is some definitely miscommunications, but it's resolved in the next episode at the very least, not even. Sometimes it's resolved like 20 minutes later. So you don't really have to worry about a huge miscommunication that will last for the entirety of the drama or anything like that. I do wish that we got some more information with Yutaka's family, or at least maybe some more heartwarming scenes with them. His family is a major story point of the trauma that Yutaka needs to overcome in this drama. So I understand why we get a little probably surface level, but the reveal of what actually happened with his family is cute, but I think also it's still surface level. I wanted more information. And I also wanted to see some scenes maybe at the end of once the angst part is resolved, how their life is after that conversation happens and what happens with the relationships with his family. But again, it's a short drama. Those things I wish happened, but I understand why they didn't happen. Overall, I still love this Japanese drama. If you have not seen it, as I said, you can watch it on YouTube. I rated this a 10 out of 10. No notes. I loved it so much. I wish I could erase the memory of it and watch it again. That is Our Dining Table. It's a Japanese drama. There's also a little special episode. So it's 10 episodes long, and then you get a special episode at the end. I also watched that, rated that the same. It's 10 out of 10 for me. It's basically like something little extra on the side. It's a short, cute episode that's kind of like the cherry on top of the ending. The characters go on a little vacation and hang out for the little boy's birthday. I kinda actually wish, as I said, because I wanted more information about Yutaka's family and what happened after they resolved the angst that was introduced, I kinda wish the special episode was a little longer because it's still only 20 something minutes long. Because I wanted to see what their life was maybe a year after they became a couple or a year after Yutaka made some life decisions or Minoru also made some life decisions. I wanted to see what happened after that, but again, wishful thinking, it didn't need to happen. I just love this couple so much. So highly recommend that one. 10 out of 10, probably the best thing I watched in September. Next thing I'm going to talk about is The Echoes of Survivors Inside Korea's Tragedy. This is a Korean documentary that aired on Netflix. In my opinion, this is a great documentary. If you liked the other documentary that Netflix put out, I think 2 years ago now, maybe a year ago. I think it was 2 years ago, called The Name of God: A Holy Betrayal. You'll probably like the Echoes of Survivors one. While In the Name of God: A Holy Betrayal was mainly based off of religious organizations or cults in Korea, The Echoes of Survivors touches on a multitude of different crimes. So they still touched on the Holy Betrayal cults. Had one story about a cult that was kind of like a follow-up to what was said in the In the Name of God documentary and what had been going on since that aired. But it also touched on some murder cases, also touched on some abuse cases, also touched on, like, a corruption case that was very well documented. All of these crimes mentioned have probably been mentioned somewhere in Korean dramas. I know there was a Korean drama specifically based off of one of the tragedies. Definitely heartbreaking. They bring in survivors. The reason why it's called The Echo of Survivor, they bring in the actual survivors and interview them, who then talk about their experience in these horrific situations that they lived through. So it's definitely heartbreaking, definitely very hard to watch if you can't handle that type of thing. They go into detail, they show pictures, they show video, they show testimony. It's all the trigger warnings for this one for sure. So if that's not the thing, I would not recommend it. But if you like true crime, if you like documentaries, if you like crime documentaries, highly recommend this one. The one thing I'll say, I get why the production team did it, but I don't like that they did it. The production team had the survivors sitting in sets and even sometimes wearing costumes that were based off of the trauma they had already survived. So a specific one was these people survived this horrible, horrible orphanage home situation. And I'm not remembering the case off the top of my head what it's called, but it's a pretty famous crime case. And the survivors had to wear the uniform as they were interviewed and were like in a set that looked like their barracks that they slept in while they were children. I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like that they had made them sit in a set that looked like where their trauma was, made them wear these costumes that were essentially the clothing they wore while dealing with this trauma as children or as young adults or whatever. I didn't like that choice. It wasn't really needed. I thought the production took that too far. That is one reason why I kinda downgraded this documentary, but it's still an impactful documentary. I think it's still well done when it comes to the testimonies and the interviews and telling the story of what happened to these people and, like, the conclusion or not conclusion, depending on the case. I still would recommend it, but just know you're probably gonna get angry like I did, seeing these people being interviewed in sets and in costumes that they have already survived. So I did not like that so much. But I rated that a 9 out of 10. It's still a very, very good, impactful documentary. Next one I'm gonna talk about is a Thai drama called Enigma Black Stage. It's on Netflix. I think it's like 5 episodes. I rated this a 9 out of 10. Now, this is a season 2 of a season 1 that aired 2 years ago, I think. I was not anticipating this airing on Netflix, but somehow Netflix got the rights. I don't think Netflix made it. I think they just got the license to air it. If you liked season 1, I would definitely recommend you watch season 2. I don't think you need to watch season 1 to understand what's going on in season 2, but I would recommend you do watch season 1 because some of the characters overlap, not a ton of them, but at least the main guy overlaps. But I don't think you need to watch season 1 to understand season 2. You just might have missed some of the details that are talked about or shown. I think story-wise, season 2's story was not as good as season 1, but it's still good. Compared to season 1, I like season 1 more. The acting was great. I also didn't find season 2 as scary as I did season 1, which is probably good for people who aren't into this genre, but this drama is still spooky. It's still a great watch for October. I also think the chemistry between the 2 leads was better in season 1 than season 2, but again, it's still good, but compared to season 1, the chemistry was better in season 1. It also definitely needs a season 3, so that's another thing. You might not wanna watch this because it's a multiple season show, and it definitely ends on cliffhanger type situation. It's not one of those shows where like, "Oh, they could do a season 2, they could do a season 3, they don't need to." This ends on cliffhangers. Both seasons end on cliffhangers. So just FYI, rated Enigma, 9 out of 10. You can watch it on Netflix. Next drama we're gonna talk about is Good Boy. This is a Korean drama on Amazon Prime. Finally finished this Korean drama. It took me way too long. I actually liked this more than I thought I would. 1, it's hilarious, and I know I was worried about the comedy. I did not think I was gonna like the comedy. Comedy works in this one. I love the comedy in this one. It's hilarious, especially because the comedy mainly stays with with a couple characters, and then other characters aren't doing a lot of the comedy, which I think works out really well. Park Bo Gum's acting is excellent in this drama. He can handle the comedy, but also he deals with some pretty serious topics as well, and his acting is phenomenal in this. I loved the villain. The villain is insane. He's ruthless. He's very cold. He is impeccably acted. I love the actor who plays the villain. Even though it's hilarious and has comedy, it has some very, very gruesome scenes as well, especially like people being injured and beaten up and things like that. There's a lot of fighting in this. So, just FYI, there are some dark, dark scenes in this show as well, but it's well balanced with the comedy, in my opinion. It could have been trimmed down a bit. It's 16 episodes. The first episode is an hour and a half, but luckily after that, the episodes are an hour, hour 10. It's only the first episode that's really long, just FYI. So if you click play and you're like, oh my God, it's an hour and a half, is all of them? They're not all an hour and a half long. The K trauma is also here. You click play and you're like, oh, this is going to be hilarious. It's going to be fun. Yeah, there's going to be some dark moments. There is a big storyline that brings in K trauma, all the trauma, which Park Bo Gum's character and his acting really stand out with this storyline. I'm not going to be spoiling anything, but just know there is some trauma and angst in this drama as well, which people I think did not anticipate when they clicked play. People might be mad that it could have a season 2 because this K-drama doesn't end on a cliffhanger, but definitely is like, "Hey, if we wanted to make a season 2, we can." Loved the Found Family. The Found Family is great because you not only get Found Family with the main cop group, the main cop unit, you also get Found Family with the villains, you get Found Family with some of the cops that are coming in and working with the group. You also get the Found Family with, like, the Olympians too. It was great. I loved the Found Family in this so much. There's a bromance situation where you have Park Bo Gum and Lee Sang-gi, where they don't outright hate each other, but they dislike each other because they both like the female lead. But their bromance is awesome, and I love it. And they still support each other and look after each other even though they dislike each other for liking the same girl. Also, speaking of Lee Sang-gi, where has he been all my life? My God, he stood out in this drama for me, and I'm sorry. I apologize to Lee Sang-gi for not noticing you more. I need you to do more lead roles. Seriously, do more lead roles. I've seen this man in other dramas before. I don't know why he affected me so much in this drama, but him as a fencer, man, so good. So good. I rated Good Boy a 9 out of 10. That is on Amazon Prime. 3 more things I'm gonna talk about. I watched the Chinese movie Creation of the Gods 1, Kingdom of Storms. It's on Amazon Prime. I found out that the second movie, I think, is on YouTube, which I wanna watch as well. It is a trilogy of movies out of China. I rated this an 8.5 out of 10. This has an amazing cast. Such a good cast and a big cast too. It's an epic fantasy story, so if that's your thing, you need to watch this. It is fantasy galore. I can see why this movie took forever to make. Supposedly, it took like 8 years to make. I'm exaggerating a bit, but it was like 7, 6, 7, 8 years to make. It shows. They spent a lot of money. The production is high. It is an epic, epic fantasy story. I can't wait to watch I can't wait to watch the other 2 movies in this trilogy. It has great CGI. I think because the story is spread out between 3 movies, I wanted more lore and more gods and more magic, but I think that's just because it will get more of that as the movies go on. So, that's I think why, but I did want more of everything because I enjoyed what we got. Great fight scenes. I will say it was a little slow at parts, mainly when there was no, like, magic or anything. It was just, like, conversations happening, which you do have a lot of talking in this movie. I can see why it got a lot of praise because it aired a couple years ago. The story is a little confusing at times, but I think it's confusing because it's based off of, like, an actual Chinese story, myth, whatever, and I just don't think I have the cultural background to understand everything that's going on. 'Cause it's a lot of names, a lot of gods, a lot of monsters, a lot of everything. but it was still a fun ride, and I loved it, and I wanna watch more of it. You just have to keep track of a lot of people and a lot of storylines because it's one of those where, like, multiple characters are doing something over here, and then some characters are doing something over here, and then some characters are doing something over across the country here, and then you have gods in heaven. Like, there's a lot of things going on, and you kinda have to pay attention to keep track, but still a great movie. Still a great movie. I can't wait to watch the second one. The third one, I think, is still being made or needs at least definitely needs to come out. I don't think it's been released yet, but rated this movie an 8.5 out of 10. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, at least in the United States, and that was Creation of the Gods 1. Next drama we're gonna talk about is the Korean drama from 2022, I wanna say, Summer Strike. Watched this on Viki. I rated this a 5 out of 10. If I was not watching this for a podcast recording, I would have dropped it. This was not for me. If you like this drama, go you. This drama was not for me. I'm not bashing on the drama, but it definitely just was not a drama I would have picked and would have watched. But as I said, I was watching this for a podcast recording, so I had to watch it. Slice of Life is not my cup of tea. I don't like it for the most part. So I knew going in that the slice of life would not do anything for me. Also, given that this is a older drama, I kind of knew what was going to happen. Not necessarily like I was spoiled, but spoiler if you don't want to hear or you want to still watch this drama. A lot of people were angry because this was marketed as a slice of life. Girl goes to the village to try and find her purpose in life. And then at the end, they all of a sudden stuck in a murder plot. I knew that was going to happen. And I thought, okay, at least I'll have that to look forward to because I like when you stick a murder plot randomly. Ultimately, if it makes sense. If it is truly random, I don't like it. I didn't even like that. I didn't even like the murder plot coming in because one, it's not as abrupt as people describe. It actually is like introduced in the story. But I also figured out who it was at by like episode 3 because it was really easy to figure out, at least in my opinion. I know I look for that. I know that's my background. I watch a lot of crime dramas. If you looked at the clues, you would know immediately, or at least partially, who it was. I figured it out by, like, episode 3, and that meant I was bored for the rest of the drama because I knew who it was, right? Or at least somewhat of who it was. I didn't like that. So even the parts I was looking forward to were not good to me because I figured it out right away. The 2 romances have their sweet moments, they are sweet. I definitely think I like the second couple more than the main couple because I just love the dynamic between this girl who's in high school who is very, very, like, prickly, and then we have a puppy dog who's just following her around, and I like how they supported each other and how even though he was just a puppy dog and looked like he had, like, a very easy life, through conversation, it was revealed he had a lot more going on than originally was seen, and I do like their relationship. The main couple too was cute at times. I loved how their relationship grew through the drama, but it couldn't save it for me. It couldn't save it for me. So this drama really just was it had its moments, but overall it just wasn't for me. It was not a drama I should have clicked play on. And so I gave it a 5 out of 10 due to the little moments that I did like and the 2 romances that were good, and the whole resolution of the crime in general was still entertaining, but 5 out of 10, not a good drama for me. So that was Summer Strike. Last one I'm gonna talk about is a donghua. It is a Chinese anime called Super Cube, one that I should have finished months ago, that has been on my list for a while. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. It started out great, didn't end great. Definitely needed a season 2 because nothing was really explained by the end. I had a lot of questions unanswered. Story was very confusing once you get out of, like, episode 3 and in my opinion, didn't really have a lot of direction after that. I couldn't even keep the leads straight because I wasn't even fully explained, like, who the leads were, and I don't even know, like, what the story was about. The only thing that I loved about this, loved, was the fight scenes. The fight scenes were beautiful to watch, were as exciting to watch, the animation was amazing, they stood out for sure, but the fight scenes alone could not save this for me. Everything else was just meh, because you really didn't know what was going on. So I would advise you to skip this one if you were interested in it. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 as well. So that is everything I completed in September. As you see, we got some variety in terms of what I watched, the country I watched it from, my ratings even. So hopefully you find something in that list you want to click play on. Now we are going to move into October, and this is going to be a very short section because October is going to look very different for me. I'm not looking forward to a lot of stuff in October. I might have said this already, but it is very, very, very rare that I have a month. I can't even remember the last time this happened where I'm not interested in a single premiering K-drama in the upcoming month, and October, that is the case. I am not interested in anything coming out from Korea in October, which I don't remember the last time that happened at all. At all. I at least like can find one crime drama or something, some romance that I'm interested in. I don't remember the last time this has happened, really. I don't, where I literally am just not interested in any of the new K-dramas coming out. Or even like K-movies or like variety shows or reality shows, nothing from Korea looks interesting to me in October unless I'm missing something. That doesn't mean I'm not looking forward to anything in October. I'm just have a very, very short list compared to some other months, like last month where I had 7 dramas I was looking forward to. So, yeah, in October 2025, I'm looking to other countries for the month. And even within that, I only have 2 dramas I'm excited for or I'm interested in checking out. Mostly because I know there's a lot of rumored Chinese dramas for October, but because none have premiere date confirmations, I'm not gonna discuss them. I know there's one that might have been confirmed, but even, like, today, there was a Chinese drama that was announced to be rumored for the end of October. So even now, not even a week until the beginning of October, we're still getting rumored premiere dates for Chinese dramas. So there's a lot of rumored ones that I'm interested in, don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna talk about ones if they don't have confirmed premiere dates. If they don't have confirmed streaming sites, that's fine, but I don't wanna talk about rumors. I mean, I know there was a Japanese drama last month that I was interested in, and then that didn't even air in last month. It's now rumored for December. I think that's another reason why this list is so short, is because there's not a lot of confirmed other countries, especially Chinese dramas, other dramas from other countries too. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. But there'll be definitely very different vibes coming from dramas from October for me. Be interested to see what I complete because I have some things I need to complete for podcast episodes in October, even more than what I did in September. And I also want to, as I said earlier in the podcast episode, I need to continue getting stuff off my current watch list so I can have a clean slate in January. But this is what I'm looking forward to in October. We have 2 dramas. One is a Japanese drama called Romantic Anonymous. This is a Netflix production, and it will premiere October 16th. That's the other thing. Both of the dramas I'm looking forward to won't air until the middle or even end of October, so that's another thing. Romantic Anonymous is another Japanese Korean crossover, but it is a Japanese drama, so it's made in Japan, made in a Japanese production company, as far as I can tell. This stars Uguri Shun, who is the male lead, and then Han Hyo-ju, who is the female lead. And as we know, Han Hyo-ju is a Korean actress. This is actually a remake, apparently, of a French-Belgium movie, also named Romantic Anonymous. I have not seen the movie, but if you were curious if this was a remake, it is a remake. 2 things of why I am drawn to checking this out, because you're like, "Caitlin, this is a romance drama, like, you normally don't like romance dramas." One is a Japanese drama. I tend to like Japanese romance dramas more than, I would say, Korean dramas, for example. So that's one. It's a romance drama, but it's also an older romance drama. Both of the leads are upper 30s, lower 40s age range, whereas I know a lot of the romance we get nowadays are, like, younger leads, so I love a good older romance drama. I need to watch more of them, and the fact that both of them are somewhat older than what we normally get, love that, love that. Now, I also am interested because of the synopsis. One, it's set in, like, a chocolate shop, so I'm really curious, is it, like, chocolate selling? Are they making chocolate? I'm really curious how that's gonna play out and if they're actually gonna show that, which would be cool. I will say, though, this another thing mentioned in the synopsis, this drama will not be for everybody. Even from what people said for I Love You last year, a lot of people did not like the female lead because she was a little awkward, she was a little shy. I did not mind it, but that's mainly because that's how a lot of Japanese characters are, in their romances. A lot of times with I Love You, it was a lot of people's first Japanese dramas or first introduction, so it kinda threw them off. According to the synopsis, this is gonna be a really awkward romance at the beginning because both of the leads apparently deal with, like, anxiety disorders. You have a male lead who doesn't like physical touch, and then you have the female lead who can't make eye contact, and they somehow have to have a romance. So, I'm assuming, at least at the beginning, there's gonna be a lot of awkward situations. So, some people, given their reaction for the female lead from I Love You and how she acted in the romance, at least in the beginning, I imagine this might not be the Japanese drama for you, especially when you have 2 leads dealing with anxiety disorders. So, some people might like this, some people not. I'm looking forward to it. The other thing that piqued my interest in the synopsis for this is there seems to be multiple couples. We'll at least have the lead couple and a second couple, and maybe even a third, but that's not confirmed. But at least we'll have 2 couples, and each seem to be going through their own thing. Each character seems to be going through some type of thing, whether it's disorder or trauma or a life problem that they have to figure out. So it'll be interesting to see. The 2 leads, Oguri Shun and Han Hyo-ju, are famous in their own right. They have starred in a lot of dramas and a lot of pretty well-known dramas, so I'm curious about their chemistry and their romance. All the episodes come out October 16th, so this is a binge on Netflix, and that is Romantic Anonymous. The other drama I'm looking forward to, you know it's October, so you have to have something scary to look forward to in October. It is the Thai drama Goddess Bless You from Death. Rumor is that this is gonna air on YouTube, but I have not seen confirmation of that. It might be on IG, I don't know, it's not confirmed. But yeah, it's a horror-esque Thai drama. I have not seen any of the cast in a drama. I definitely know of them. They're quite famous in their own right, but I have not watched any of their dramas, so I'm going into this drama blind on who they are, their acting, whatever. What caught my interest with this one, though, was the synopsis, of course. You have the one male lead, I think his name is Thup? Thup, that's the nickname. Apparently, from the trailer, it looks like he can see ghosts or have some type of heightened senses or maybe both. And then you have Singha, who is a detective, and they basically team up to investigate a series of murders that are happening, all while one guy can see ghosts, looks like it. Looks like a perfect setup for me to check out because you have a crime drama and then you have ghosts. And so I, of course, am interested in this. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. And yeah, it's October, so you need at least one scary drama. But those are the only 2 new dramas I'm looking forward to. Very, very different comparatively. You have a scary drama and you have a romance drama. The other dramas that I plan to start in October are ones due to podcast recordings or other things that I do need to finish and watch. You have the Japanese drama Hold My Hand at Twilight. I'm gonna binge that in October and hopefully record a podcast episode on a podcast by the end of October, maybe early November. And then I'm still trucking away at Medical Examiner Dr. Chin. I don't think those are episodes gonna come out in October anymore, but I'm still gonna make the episode and probably release it in 2026 at this point, but that's still coming out because I pretty much almost done with the series. I have 1 drama from that and 2 movies to watch. I also wanna watch the second movie of Creation of the Gods. because I found it on YouTube and I want to watch it before it somehow maybe disappears from YouTube. Who knows? And then the last Chinese drama that I'm probably going to at least click play on, maybe not finish, but at least click play on is Mobius. I am potentially going to be recording a podcast episode for that as well. So want to at least maybe click play on October for that. It depends on when we're recording it. We haven't decided when we're recording it. So if it's not till November, maybe I'll wait till November to check it out. But that is the list of things I plan to start and maybe potentially finish in October along with everything else I'm watching. So it'll be interesting to see what I complete in October. I'm hoping it will be a lot, but I am somewhat busy in October. Definitely more than I was in September. I'll be busy a lot and by the end of the year. January, it dies down completely. But that is my wrap up. That is the end of the wrap up episode. It is going to be on the shorter side, of course, because as I said, I'm not looking forward to a bunch of new stuff. But that is everything that I completed in September and what I'm looking forward to in October. Let me know if you watched any of the things I completed in September. I know I watched a few older stuff as like Our Dining Table. If you watched Our Dining Table, please let me know. Message me what you thought. And then let me know what some of the dramas you're looking for in October. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't catch something. But that is the end of the episode. That is me wrapping up September, wrapping up another month of 2025. So thank you for listening to another episode on the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky under the username No Sleep for Dramas. That is No Sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.nosleepfordramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. Finally, please give this podcast a like or a follow wherever you listen to the podcast. Leaving a comment or a review also helps a lot. We love hearing ideas and feedback from all of you. Share the podcast with your friends as well. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.